The day I first set my sights on the enchanting shores of Hawaii, a day etched in my memory like a vivid dream waiting to unfold. It was more than a mere getaway. It was my heartfelt tribute to the remarkable woman who nurtured me, my beloved mother, Sophia. As the day of her 59th birthday approached, I found myself yearning to create a memory that would linger in her heart forever. A simple dinner or a gift card felt far too ordinary for such a momentous occasion. No, I wanted to orchestrate something grand, something that would truly reflect the depth of my gratitude for all the sacrifices she had made for me throughout the years. For months on end, I toiled and saved, each bonus carefully tucked away, plans canceled, and weekends with friends sacrificed, all in pursuit of a dream. In my quest for the perfect journey, I gathered a collection of spreadsheets, curated a Pinterest board filled with inspiration, and set alerts to catch the best flight deals that danced across my screen. In the depths of her heart, she held a dream, a vision of the enchanting beaches of Hawaii. Picture the soft, golden sand beneath her feet, the warm embrace of sunsets painting the sky, and the sweet melodies of ukulele music dancing through the gentle breeze. In the shadows, I wove a tapestry of surprises, envisioning 5 enchanting nights in a secluded oceanfront villa. I arranged flights for the entire family, secured blissful spa day reservations, and even orchestrated a dinner at a renowned cliffside restaurant, a place I knew would capture her heart. As I envisioned the moment, I could see her expression vividly, her eyes sparkling with joy, reminiscent of that delightful day from my childhood when I had surprised her with a bouquet of flowers. She had toiled tirelessly, pouring her heart and soul into every endeavor. Now, in this moment, I yearned for her to simply let go, to bask in the warmth of care and comfort she so richly deserved. I wished for her to sense that, at long last, someone was holding her in their thoughts. And I approached this decision with great care. It was a sum of $15,600, a figure that loomed larger than any I had ever encountered in my life, a testament to the weight of my decision. Yet, each coin spent felt like a treasure, for deep within my heart, I held a certainty that it would carry significance for her. In the quiet moments of my thoughts, I confided only in my older brother Adam and his beloved wife Kelly, seeking their wisdom to confirm the dates that danced in my mind. And so it was, despite being the one to cover the costs for all, a spark of excitement danced within me, leaving no room for resentment. In my heart, I believed this would be a cherished memory, one that would weave itself into the very fabric of our family's story, a moment to hold on to for all time. Little did I realize at that moment, it would etch itself into my memory for a reason I could never have anticipated. In that fleeting instant, when that single message arrived, the very foundation of all I had constructed, all the emotions I had nurtured, crumbled into dust. And so, in that moment, the tale took its first breath. 2 weeks stretched ahead, a mere whisper of time before the journey began. After a long shift at work, I stepped away, still tingling with a quiet thrill, as if the universe was whispering that something wonderful awaited just beyond the horizon. As I wandered into a quaint little coffee shop, the aroma of freshly brewed coffee enveloped me. I ordered a creamy vanilla latte and settled into a cozy spot by the window. With a warm smile, I let my thoughts drift to my mother, envisioning her on that pristine white sand beach, a cocktail gracefully held in her hand, savoring a well-deserved moment of peace. In the stillness of the moment, my phone let out a soft buzz, breaking the silence like a whisper in the night. Once upon a time, a message arrived, sent by none other than Kelly, the beloved wife of Adam. There was a distinct absence of greeting, a chilling void where warmth should have flourished. Once upon a time, there was a single sentence that held the weight of 1,000 stories. In a twist of fate, we entrusted your place to the wife of your brother. She brings a spark of joy. In the quiet moments, I found myself blinking, a flicker of doubt crossing my mind as I wondered if perhaps I had misread the words before me. Perhaps it was a curious twist of fate, a whimsical error born from the depths of autocorrect's mysterious realm. Yet it was unmistakable, resolute, and chilling. As I gazed upon the words, a sense of stillness enveloped me, my fingers feeling the warmth of the cup cradled in my hands, yet numb to the world around. She brings a spark of joy that lights up the room. That part reverberated through the air, taunting me with its haunting resonance. Not a single tear fell. Not just yet. There I sat, a statue amidst the bustling crowd, as figures glided by like fleeting shadows in the twilight. With each reading, I found myself drawn back into the words, as if my mind struggled to accept the notion that someone could utter such a thing with such nonchalance, treating me as though I were merely a fleeting shadow, easily discarded and forgotten. In that fleeting moment, the journey transcended mere travel. There were countless moments when I found myself cast in the shadows, feeling like the overlooked one, the dull presence, the dutiful sister who tidied up after the festivities, rather than being the one welcomed into the joyous gatherings. In the tapestry of my memories, there are birthdays woven with the vibrant threads of Adam's exuberance, where he basked in the spotlight, his laughter echoing louder than the rest, drawing all eyes to him with his outgoing spirit. Once upon a time, I found myself reflecting on the words spoken to me, "Lighten up, Alina," as if the depth of my caring was somehow a burden to bear. Once upon a time, I recalled a moment when Kelly playfully remarked, "You're like the mom of the group, no offense." And all around me, laughter echoed, but I stood there, untouched by the mirth. And so it was, without a phone call or a word of explanation, just a solitary sentence that landed like a sudden slap across the cheek. As I sat in reflection, memories of my efforts flooded my mind, the countless months of toil, the investments made, the intricate details painstakingly crafted. Yet, in an instant, it all felt as if it had vanished, rendered insignificant, as if it had never truly mattered at all. And in the silence that followed, the weight of her unspoken words hung heavy in the air, for the worst of all was that Mom said nothing at all. There was no message that followed. My dear, allow me a moment to share my thoughts with you. In that moment, there was only silence, a profound stillness that pierced deeper than any wound. It was a pain that lingered quietly, a silent shadow that wrapped around the heart. It descended silently, a weighty presence slipping into the depths, profound and still. As I cast my gaze upon my phone once more, a tempest brewed within me, my heart raced like a wild stallion, and warmth spread across my cheeks like the first light of dawn. With a swift motion of my fingers, I crafted a simple reply, "Got it." With a gentle sigh, I set my phone aside, gazed out the window, and let my mind wander to a new adventure waiting to unfold. That night, sleep eluded me. In the stillness of the night, I found myself nestled beneath the covers, the soft glow of my phone casting shadows around the room. My gaze was fixated on the message, a haunting echo that I read repeatedly, hoping that somehow the letters might shift and change. Perhaps, in the quiet hours, a spark of realization would ignite in someone else's mind, and they would reach out to me once more. Alas, a misstep occurred. Without a doubt, you shall join us on this journey. In the stillness that followed, we found ourselves caught in a moment we never intended to create, where our words faded into the void, leaving only silence in their wake. In that moment, a subtle transformation began to unfold within me. It was not a grand explosion or a dramatic collapse. Rather, it resembled the gentle cracking of a bond one had long been unaware of, a bond one had silently held together for years, swallowing my truth like a hidden secret. Whispers of judgment, veiled in humor, danced through the air like shadows, each remark a thread in the tapestry of unspoken rivalry. In the tapestry of my life, I found myself cast in the role of the uptight character, the overthinker, the one who wore seriousness like a cloak, never quite managing to embrace the lightheartedness that danced just beyond my reach. And for what purpose, one might wonder? Thus, They could effortlessly wipe me from the very blueprint I had crafted for myself. With a flutter of anticipation in my chest, I opened my email, my hands trembling as I gazed at the flight confirmation before me, the world around me fading into a blur. For round-trip tickets to the enchanting shores of Maui, all expenses covered and ready for adventure. And there it was, my name, the one who orchestrated, the one who funded, the one who envisioned the grand design. With a sense of hesitation, I found myself lingering over the button that would cancel my booking. And in that fleeting moment, a torrent of thoughts surged forth, each one vying for attention. What if, in the depths of her heart, Mother carries a shadow of disappointment? Imagine a moment when Adam's temper flares, a storm brewing within him. What might unfold in the wake of his anger? What if they twist the tale and cast me in a different light? What if, in the depths of my heart, I find myself overwhelmed by emotions? Yet, amidst the tempest, there emerges a softer voice, one I had long neglected, whispering truths I had forgotten to hear. Imagine a moment when you decide to embrace your own worth, to put yourself first at last. And so, with a gentle tap, I pressed the button. Flights must be cancelled. Affirmative. It is time to bid farewell to the hotel reservation. Affirmative. It seems the plans for a rejuvenating spa day, the delightful dinner reservations, and the car rental have all been set aside for now. Affirmative. 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 With each confirmation email that graced my inbox, a sense of buoyancy filled my heart, lifting the weight that had settled there. Not a surge of joy, but a newfound clarity. In a moment of frustration, I found myself resisting the urge to hurl my phone across the room. In that moment, silence enveloped me. No screams escaped my lips, nor did tears fall from my eyes. As I settled into my chair, I found myself captivated by the gentle blue light emanating from my laptop screen. With each breath I took, I felt a sense of relief washing over me, deeper than I had experienced in days, perhaps even years. For this tale was not woven from the threads of vengeance. Not just yet. It was a journey of rediscovery, a quest to reclaim the vastness of the space I had once allowed myself to shrink into. In their gaze, I discovered the reflection of my place in their world. And so it was, after much contemplation, that she became a mere shadow, the girl who dreams of grand adventures yet finds herself on the outside, forever crafting plans but never receiving the call to join the festivities. And at last, I had shed the guise of ignorance, no longer turning a blind eye to the truth that lay before me. All the bookings had vanished into thin air. Alas, the journey was not to be. But what of the tale that unfolds? The dawn of a new chapter was unfolding before our eyes. For they believed they could simply wipe me from the canvas, continuing to revel in the masterpiece I had crafted for them. Little did they know, even the most reserved of souls possess boundaries that, once crossed, reveal a strength they never anticipated. And thus, my path had just been intertwined with another. 3 days later, they set forth, their faces aglow with smiles and their hearts brimming with hashtags. In a moment captured amidst the bustling airport, Mom shared a hazy photograph, accompanied by words that danced with joy, off to paradise with my favorite people. Alas, my name remained unspoken. Not a single whisper of longing, not even a wish that you were here. In a moment of celebration, Adam captured a snapshot of Kelly, their champagne glasses raised high in the luxurious embrace of first class. Her legs danced with a flourish, each movement steeped in drama and flair. Once more, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to you, dear sister. Once upon a time, a brilliant idea blossomed, shining brightly in the minds of those who dared to dream. It was a notion so splendid that it sparked excitement and wonder in all who encountered it. There shall be no winking emoji in this tale. It was nothing but sheer arrogance. In their hearts, they were certain that they were embarking on my journey. They truly believed I would simply remain here, accepting it all without a word. Yet, unbeknownst to them, hidden in the shadows of those fleeting hours, I had been orchestrating a symphony of silent maneuvers for the past 72 hours. In the beginning, I reached out to Mr. Behrman, the landlord, to seek his guidance. For more than a year, I found myself contributing to my mother's rent, a quiet act of support woven into the fabric of our lives. A topic shrouded in silence, a whisper lost in the winds of conversation, never to be spoken of, it seems. It was a certainty that lingered in the air, as if the very fabric of fate had woven it into the tapestry of their lives. With a hopeful heart, I inquired whether he might entertain the idea of placing the lease solely in my name. In that moment, he paused, uncertainty flickering in his eyes. With a sense of determination, I stepped forward and proposed to settle the next 6 months' dues all at once, laying my cards on the table. It is accomplished. With a gentle demeanor, I inquired if he might consider a slight adjustment to the rent, hoping for a favorable response. In the end, the tides of change had swept through, and prices had risen high. With a nod of understanding, he gave his consent. Once upon a time, there was a remarkable transformation, a surge of 40% that changed the landscape in ways unimaginable. From this moment onward, in a moment of foresight, I had settled the difference in advance. Next, we turn our attention to the locks. With a sense of assurance, I reached out to the locksmith I held in high regard. On that fateful night, he arrived, transforming each bolt and barrel with his skilled hands. With a gentle flourish, I presented him the new keys, each one adorned with delicate, tiny handwriting, a secret language meant solely for my eyes. And so, the third step in our journey unfolds, the bank accounts. Once upon a time, in a moment of need, my mother brought me into her world of online banking as a cosigner. It was during a time when she was unwell, and her trust in me was a beacon of support to help her navigate through the digital realm of finances. She kept me close, never letting me go. It is likely that she has simply let it slip from her mind. Alas, I did not. Not a single coin from the savings was disturbed. In truth, I was not unkind. Yet, I took the bold step of freezing the shared grocery account, the very one she and Adam treated as if it were an endless supply of libations. And so, I found myself in a moment of stillness, waiting. In hushed whispers. In a serene manner. No texts. There were no clues to guide the way. In a quest for order, I set about transforming the apartment. With careful hands, I rearranged the living room, breathing new life into the space. I gathered the remnants of the past, those forgotten treasures left behind, and donated half of the clutter that once filled the corners. In a moment of inspiration, I decided to bid farewell to the old coffee mugs that had served their time and welcomed a fresh set into my home. In the realm of artistry, there exists a creation of deep, obsidian hue, its surface cloaked in a velvety matte embrace. Pure and unblemished. In a world where chaos often reigns, there exists a sense of order, a delicate balance that holds everything together. It is a state of being where every action is measured, every decision weighed, and every moment embraced with purpose. This is the essence of being controlled. And with each glance I cast upon my surroundings, a profound sense of calm began to take root within me. It wasn't peace, not in the truest sense. But the allure of power. For the very first time in my life, I found myself not waiting for an invitation to step inside. In that moment, I found myself not pleading for recognition. With great care and purpose, I set about my preparations, eagerly anticipating their return. They believed I had understood, and so they carried on with their day. Alas, that was not the case. What I intended to convey was understood. Behold, if you will. As they basked in the sun, capturing moments of joy with beach selfies and indulging in piña coladas, I was busy crafting the backdrop for a tale of a different nature, one that would unfold in its own unique way. Little did they know the storm that was about to unfold before them. Yet, they would. In the not-so-distant future, a moment will arrive. On a Tuesday evening, they made their way back. In my mind, the details of that flight were as clear as the stars and the night sky. With bated breath, I followed the journey online, observing that tiny plane icon as it glided across the vast Pacific, as if it were drifting toward its destined fate. As the Uber came to a halt before the grand facade of the building, I remained nestled within, cradling a steaming mug of tea, my gaze firmly fixed away from the world outside the blinds. Even without laying eyes upon them, the vivid tableau unfolded in my mind's eye. With a flourish, Mom would emerge, her floral print hoodie billowing softly in the breeze, flip-flops slapping against the pavement as she dragged her suitcase behind her, a triumphant conqueror returning from distant lands. In a bustling airport, there stood Adam, a figure of ambition and pretense. He clutched an array of duty-free bags, far more than one could reasonably manage, each one a testament to his desire to appear significant in the eyes of those around him. And there was Kelly, radiating the essence of a blissful getaway, her spirit shining bright with the warmth of adventure. With the sun casting its golden rays, one could easily spot the telltale tan lines, a testament to days spent basking in warmth. New sunglasses perched upon the nose, reflecting the vibrant hues of the world, while a Maui Vibes tank top clung to the spirit of adventure, whispering tales of island breezes and carefree moments. With a confident stride, they approached the front door of the apartment building, as if it were their own domain. Yet, as Mom reached for her keys and attempted to turn the lock on the main door, it stubbornly refused to yield. With a playful flick of her wrist, she jiggled it once more. With a furrowed brow, the expression of discontent emerged. "Perhaps it's caught," she whispered to herself. With determination in his heart, Adam took his turn once more. "Have you made a change, perhaps?" He sent me a message. It lingered there, a message suspended in the digital ether, untouched and unacknowledged, as I chose to let it remain unread. With a dramatic roll of her eyes, Kelly expressed her exasperation. "Perhaps it is the weight of the humidity that hangs in the air." In the quiet moments, when the air thickens with humidity, the doors begin to swell, as if they are breathing in the warmth of the day. Yet, despite all efforts, the key remained stubbornly still, refusing to turn. As the clock ticked away, 10 minutes slipped by like grains of sand through an hourglass. They reached out to every neighbor they had come to know, their voices echoing through the air like whispers of a gathering storm. Silence lingered in the air, as if the world held its breath, waiting for a response that never came. Long before the moment arrived, I had taken it upon myself to share a word of caution with all who would listen. Pay no heed to the whispers that may arise on Tuesday evening. Simply place your faith in me. In the end, they surrendered to the moment and strolled over to the quaint cafe that beckoned from across the street. The very one that Mom would often boast about, her pride shining through every word. In this place, they recognized me, as if I were a familiar character in a tale woven through time. My order is known without a word needing to be spoken. With a warm smile directed at the barista, she placed her familiar order and confidently swiped her card, a ritual she had perfected over time. And so, the answer was a gentle yet firm refusal. With determination in her heart, she made another attempt. And once more, the tale unfolds. And so it was, the answer came forth, a simple yet resolute decline. The tale of opportunity met with a firm closure, leaving the air thick with unspoken possibilities. "Excuse me, kind lady, might you possess another card?" With a courteous smile, the barista inquired, striving to maintain an air of professionalism. With a furrowed brow, Adam leaned in closer, a swirl of confusion dancing in his eyes. "How curious it is. Give mine a chance." Alas, his too had met the same fate. And so it was, the smile began to fracture, revealing the hidden turmoil beneath. With a flutter of anxiety, Mom retrieved her phone, her fingers quivering as they danced across the screen, navigating the labyrinth of her banking app. In a hushed tone, she let her words slip softly into the air. "What in the world is happening?" What could possibly have caused everything to be encased in ice? And then, as if the universe had decided to sprinkle a little magic into their day, Kelly's eyes caught sight of something affixed to the building door as they strolled back. Once upon a time, there lay a legal envelope, its crisp edges and formal appearance hinting at the important contents within. It held the weight of decisions, agreements, and the promise of justice, waiting patiently to unveil its secrets to the world. In letters that stand tall and proud, they beckon for attention. Hear ye, hear ye. A proclamation regarding the adjustment of the lease has been made. With a flourish, she unveiled it and let the words dance into the air, her voice weaving the tale for all to hear. In this very month, a new chapter has begun as the leaseholder has changed. In a twist of fate, the rent has surged by a staggering 40%, a reflection of the ever-changing tides of the market's value. Her voice faded into the silence, leaving an echo of unspoken thoughts lingering in the air. Once upon a time, there was a leaseholder. In a moment of sudden fury, Adam's patience shattered like glass. Pray tell, who might this mysterious leaseholder be? And in that moment, the last nail was driven home. In that moment, a light flickered within them, and understanding dawned like the first rays of morning sun breaking through the darkness. With a furrowed brow, Mom gazed at the paper in her hands, her eyes drifting to the windows, as though she were pondering whether I was observing her every move. Once upon a time, there existed a being who simply was. From the heart of the home, where aromas dance and stories simmer. Gather around. As I cradle my warm cup, the steam dances gently in the air, a comforting companion to my quiet moment. They made attempts to reach out to me. The phone continued to ring, echoing through the silence, but I chose to let it linger in the air, unanswered. It was then that a message from Adam found its way to me. What tale do you have to share? With a few swift strokes of my fingers, I crafted a single sentence in response. Once again, the familiar place was mine to claim. And it was in that moment that the true panic took hold. As the sun set on their carefree days, the time had come for the vacation to bid farewell, and reality stood at the door, ready to welcome them back into its embrace. In the stillness of that once bustling apartment, I found the courage to unearth the emotions I had long kept hidden away, allowing them to wash over me like a forgotten tide. It was not merely the events of this week that unfolded before me, but rather the tapestry of experiences that had woven themselves throughout the entirety of my life. Many believe that betrayal unfolds in a single, piercing instant. Once upon a time, there was a single text. In the grand tapestry of life, there lies a single choice, a moment that can alter the course of destiny. Yet, for me, the passage of time felt languid. In the stillness of time, a subtle wearing away unfolds. In a realm where pain whispers softly, there exists a tapestry woven from 1,000 little cuts. In the tapestry of my life, I often found myself cast in the role of the unremarkable character, the one who faded into the background while others danced in the spotlight. Not as boisterous as Adam. Not quite as enchanting as Kelly. In the grand tapestry of gatherings, I found myself a quiet observer, refraining from the lively dance at weddings and the heartfelt toasts that echoed through dinner parties. It was I who took on the task of tidying up once the festivities had come to an end. Who was it that ensured Grandma never missed her medications? Once upon a time, my mother would chuckle heartily whenever I packed my beloved books for our family adventures. "You and your thoughts," she'd say, her hand gently resting on my head, as if I were a wandering puppy in need of guidance. In the tapestry of my memories, there exist birthday dinners where my name was but a whisper in the wind, uninvited and unseen. It was a decision made in the final hour, they would recount. "It seems you are perpetually caught in the whirlwind of activity. We had a feeling you might not show up after all." In the shadows of laughter, there lay a tapestry of whispers and chuckles, woven in the corners of rooms where I was but a ghost, forever on the outside, yearning to grasp the secrets of those inside jokes that danced just beyond my reach. In a cozy gathering filled with laughter and warmth, I took it upon myself to create a sweet ending for our holiday feast. Once upon a time, in a cozy kitchen, I embarked on a delightful adventure, crafting a triple-layer lemon cake entirely from scratch. It was a journey that spanned 6 long hours. It remained untouched, a silent witness to the passage of time. Once upon a time, Kelly arrived with a delightful treasure, a store-bought cheesecake. As the evening unfolded, the guests could hardly contain their enthusiasm, singing its praises and savoring every bite throughout the night. With a gentle gaze, Mom turned to me and softly remarked, "You know, my dear, there are moments when you put in too much effort." With a chuckle and a nod, I masked the sting that lingered beneath the surface. Yet it always found a way to unfold. This journey to Hawaii, it was more than merely a getaway. In that moment, I found myself standing at the crossroads, determined to make one final attempt. In a moment of inspiration, I gathered all my thoughts, determined to reveal to her the depth of my consideration. In a moment of inspiration, I reserved the sweet that gazes upon the vast ocean, knowing how much you cherish the soothing melody of the waves. In my quest for culinary delights, I stumbled upon a luau that offers a treasure trove of gluten-free options. In the tapestry of time, I wove my plans with your birthday as the centerpiece. In that moment, I whispered to the universe, "Choose me this time." Behold me. Yet they chose not to. In a moment of decision, they set their sights on Kelly. Once more. For the simple reason that she brings joy and laughter into every moment. And there I stood, not even a flicker of surprise crossing my mind. That was the moment that shattered my spirit. In that moment, tears did not fall, for the surprise had caught me off guard. My tears fell, for it was not as I had hoped. As I sat there, surrounded by the soft glow of dimmed lights in the apartment, a revelation washed over me, one that was both a bittersweet ache and a liberating breath of fresh air. This journey did not shatter my spirit. It unveiled the fissures that had long been hidden beneath the surface. They whispered that I was too sensitive, yet perhaps I had merely opened my eyes to the world around me at last. At long last, I have ceased my pleas to find a place among those who never sought my presence to begin with. And this time, I sought not a mere place at the table. With determination in my heart, I resolved to reclaim the entire table for myself. I stood strong, unyielding in the face of adversity. Once upon a time, that was the case. But now, things have changed. In that fleeting instant, just as the waves of panic began to crash upon me, a thought flickered in my mind. Perhaps, just perhaps, I was indeed lost. In that quiet moment, I found myself observing their frantic movements, witnessing their struggle to maintain a semblance of order amidst the chaos. In the manner they had always known, veiled in the guise of cheerful grins and hollow words of regret. In that fleeting moment, a pang of sympathy washed over me for them. Yet, that version of me had faded into the shadows of the past. No longer would I linger in the shadows, a mere whisper in the background of others' tales. No longer will I be the one waiting in the wings, the shadow of someone else's dreams. She is the one you seek when the laughter has faded and the joy of others has come to an end. In the depths of my heart, I had reached a point of surrender, weary from the endless attempts to forge a bond with a family that had always regarded me as little more than a mere whisper in their lives, a quiet nuisance that faded into the background. A stirring began to awaken within me, as if the very essence of my being was in the midst of transformation. In the shadows of my mind lingered fear, a relentless companion, whispering doubts that echoed through the corridors of my thoughts. For years, I found myself ensnared in a web of uncertainty, questioning every facet of my being, as if the very essence of who I was could be unraveled with a single misstep. One by one, each fragment slowly dissolved into nothingness. There was no need for me to plead for their gaze. There was no battle required for me to find my seat among them. No longer was I engaged in a battle for mere remnants. In that moment, I seized the reins of my destiny. And my endeavors extended far beyond mere words. With every movement, I brought my intentions to life. Once upon a time, it all began with a piece of land. In that very spot, they had chuckled at the dullness that seemed to define me. In the embrace of tranquility, I find myself nestled within the comforting arms of a life that is both safe and stable. It was the apartment where I lent my hands to help them settle in. For years, I had contributed my part to the rent. Little did they know I had secretly acquired it, shrouded in mystery and silence. Once upon a time, just a few months back, I embarked on a journey by establishing a limited liability company, cloaked in a name that was not my own. I maintained a careful silence, ensuring everything remained hidden from view. In that moment, I resolved to keep my secret close, a treasure they could never seize from me. In that moment, the keys to their little world rested in my hands, a treasure of untold possibilities. In a moment of decision, I picked up the phone and dialed a number. In a bold move, I decided to triple the rent. By the letter of the law. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the day, a message arrived in their inbox, a new lease agreement. In that moment, a wave of urgency washed over them, and they reached out to me, their voices tinged with a frantic energy that spoke of concern and uncertainty. What could this be? On the other end, Mom's voice quivered, carrying a weight of emotion that spoke volumes. With a gentle breath, I responded, striving to maintain a voice that was both steady and calm, as if weaving a delicate thread through the fabric of the moment. Just a little change, I said. In the bustling heart of the city, the market shifted and swayed, adapting to the ever-changing tides of fortune. What led you to take such a path? With tears streaming down her cheeks, Kelly's voice trembled as she asked, "Alas, dear friend, it seems we find ourselves in a predicament most troubling. This cannot be the path laid before us." In her voice, I could sense the deep well of desperation that echoed through the air. In that fleeting moment, a spark ignited within me, a sensation long forgotten, stirring memories that had lain dormant for years. In the shadows of the heart, there lies a heavy burden known as guilt. Yet, in the blink of an eye, it vanished. "Indeed, I can," I replied to her. "At long last, the reins of this place are firmly in my grasp. Every last bit of it. Once upon a time, the lease was signed in my name, and with that, your place in this tale is no longer assured." In that moment, the air was thick with an unbroken stillness, as if time itself had paused to listen. In that moment, I could sense the weight of my words settling upon them as they grappled with the enormity of what I had just revealed. Yet, in that moment, my heart remained untouched by the weight of concern. With a gentle click, I ended the call. With a determined glance, I shifted my focus to their credit cards. Those I had once aided in their beginnings, during the time when I was still part of the family. There were those whom I had stood by, encouraging their purchases of unnecessary things and cheering them on as they embarked on vacations they had not truly earned. In that moment, I brought them to a standstill, encasing them in a shimmering stillness. Each and every one, without exception. Gone were the days when I was the ever-helpful sister, the one who stood by with unwavering support as a daughter. It was not I who took on the burdens, who settled the debts or shifted my plans solely to bring them joy. At long last, I had reached the end of my patience with being their safety net. Approval from them was not a necessity for me. In that moment, I realized I was whole on my own, untouched by the need for their approval. In that moment, I found myself in a realm of my own creation. At long last, the moment had arrived, and it unfolded just as I had envisioned it, entirely on my own terms. As I strolled by the coffee shop, a place that had long stood as a testament to my own unseen existence, a stirring sensation washed over me, one I hadn't experienced in many years. In the realm of existence, there lies a force, a profound essence that shapes destinies and ignites passions. It is the very heartbeat of ambition, the silent whisper that drives one to conquer mountains and traverse uncharted territories. This force, often sought after and revered, weaves its way through the fabric of life, leaving an indelible mark on those who dare to embrace it. In their eyes, I was but a shadow, a whisper in the background, forever overlooked and deemed unremarkable. Yet here we stand, in the present moment, pondering the question, what of now? At that moment, the reins were firmly in my grasp. And so it was that they stood on the brink of transformation, poised to witness the remarkable shift that would unfold when one brave soul chose to reclaim their strength. They believed the tale had reached its final chapter. Yet, deep down, I understood that it was not the case. I could hear their voices, faint yet persistent, as they sought to bridge the distance between us. Whispers of the past echo through the air, beckoning with the sound of calls. Once upon a time, there were words woven together, forming texts that danced across the pages, each telling a story of its own. The echoes of voicemails, those digital whispers left behind in the vast expanse of our communication. Each one a story waiting to be heard, a moment captured in time, lingering in the air like a forgotten melody. They hold the essence of connection, a bridge between voices that may be far apart, yet still reach out to touch one another's hearts. My phone was besieged, each message arriving with a sense of urgency that grew more intense with every ping. Alas, the hour had grown too late. Alas, the hour had grown too late for words of regret to find their way into the air. The hour has grown late for words of explanation. They had served their purpose, and now they were but a distant memory. In that moment, I found myself surrounded by all that I could ever desire. Yet, as fate would have it, the universe had a handful of surprises still waiting to unfold. It all began with an email, a message that arrived from my brother's wife, stirring the waters of my thoughts. With a heart full of excitement, Kelly took the bold step of applying for a position at the company I had recently acquired. Her resume danced across the screen, each word a reflection of her vibrant spirit, radiating warmth and enthusiasm. A chuckle nearly escaped my lips. The irony hung in the air, heavy and palpable, like a thick fog that envelopes the unsuspecting traveler. Little did she know the identity of the current owner of the company was a mystery that eluded her grasp. Unbeknownst to her, the very aspect she had consistently dismissed in me was, in truth, the source of my strength, the very force that had forged my empire. As I clicked open her resume, a warm cup of coffee cradled in my hands, I relished the serene strength that enveloped me in that moment. In the midst of a bustling office, she stepped forward, her heart set on a position within the very department I oversaw. It was as if the very essence of her smile danced through the ink of her resume, whispering tales of her journey and aspirations. Her aspiration for a role in marketing appeared almost innocent, as if she were stepping into a world filled with dreams and possibilities. With a gentle click, I pressed the reply button. "You are welcome to interview," I typed, "but I must be honest with you from the start. There lingers a question in the air, a whisper of uncertainty about whether you might find your place among us." And with a deep breath, I pressed the send button. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the world, a familiar voice rang through the air. Mom was calling. "Alina, if you would be so kind." In this moment, all I seek is the chance to share words, to weave a tapestry of conversation. Forgive me. In the quiet moments of reflection, I find myself grappling with the weight of my shortcomings, feeling as though I have faltered in my role as a mother and as a person. Her voice trembled like a fragile leaf caught in a gentle breeze. Her voice carried the weight of shattered dreams. In that moment, a flicker of sympathy stirred within me, beckoning me to feel a twinge of sorrow for her plight. Indeed, I truly did. In that moment, I felt a deep desire to listen to her, to reassure her that all was well, and that together we could transcend this hurdle. Yet, the words remained elusive, dancing just beyond reach. I paused, allowing the silence to stretch between us, the air thick with the unspoken history of the years we had quietly unwound together. Forgiveness was a distant shore, and I found myself adrift, unable to reach it for her. Not just yet. And perhaps it shall remain so forevermore. Forgiveness is not something you can simply request, dear mother. At long last, I spoke, my voice unwavering yet frigid. Once upon a time, the opportunity had come and gone, leaving only echoes of what could have been. Time and time again, I placed it in your hands. Yet, time and again, it was you and Father who favored Kelly, who held Adam in higher regard. And now you wish for me to simply cast it aside, as if it were but a fleeting shadow. On the other end of the line, a breath was drawn in sharply, as if the very air held a secret waiting to be unveiled. Forgive me, Alina. In the quiet moments of reflection, I came to understand the depth of the pain I caused you, a realization that weighed heavily on my heart. No, I interjected, cutting through the air with urgency. In the quiet moments, I find the strength to say, "You didn't hurt me, Mom." It seemed as though I had been cast into the shadows, my voice lost in the winds of indifference. In the shadows of your gaze, I found myself unseen. In the shadows, I found myself slipping away, unnoticed, as you lavished your adoration upon your flawless offspring. You wished for me to embody a version of myself that was foreign to my very essence. And in that moment when I no longer conformed to your vision, you turned away and left me in the shadows. The words lingered in the air, thick with meaning and impossible to ignore. And then, a smile graced my lips. That smile, oh, it was not meant for her. It was never meant for my hands to grasp. In the quiet years, a heart endeavored to win the affection it so deeply craved. It was for every moment I had yearned for their gaze to fall upon me. It was for the tender spirit within me, the little girl who still trembled at the thought of rejection. Farewell, dear mother. With a voice that carried both calmness and determination, I spoke. Though the depths of understanding may elude you, fret not, for that is perfectly all right. In the journey of knowledge, I have gathered a wealth of understanding. The time has come for me to stand on my own, no longer seeking your approval. With a gentle click, I ended the call. It was not an act of cruelty. It was not an attack, but rather a moment that would linger in the air, filled with unspoken tension and the weight of uncertainty. In that moment, I found the final piece of closure, the key that would unlock the door to my next chapter. And then, like a whisper carried on the wind, the notification arrived. Alas, the fateful news arrived. Kelly's application had met with rejection. There was a void within me, a lingering sense of unfulfillment. It wasn't precisely what I had envisioned, yet within me stirred a sense of triumph, soft and unassuming. Once upon a time, there came a moment when one decided to rise, to no longer allow the world to tread upon their spirit. In that pivotal instant, life began to unveil its lessons, revealing truths to those who had once overlooked their presence. As I strolled to the window, my gaze fell upon the sprawling city that had now become my own. In the gentle embrace of the evening, the soft hum of traffic weaves through the air, while the distant laughter from the park below dances like a melody, painting the scene with warmth and life. All around, a sense of change lingered in the air. In the span of mere months, I had transformed into someone entirely different from the person I once was. As the sun gracefully sank beneath the horizon, its golden rays spilling over the landscape, a realization washed over me. The essence of who I truly was could no longer be overlooked by those around me. Once upon a time, the echoes of yesterday faded into the distance. But what of the future? In that moment, it belonged to me alone. And so the tale comes to a close.